Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Bishop Darrell Watkins, and let's queer up the USA View. South Carolina judge's home burned down after ruling against Trump administration. A South Carolina judge's home was destroyed in a weekend fire just days after she reportedly received death threats for ruling against the Trump administration. Circuit Court Judge Diane Goodstein, 69, was walking her dogs Saturday morning when her Edisto Beach home caught fire. Her husband, former Democratic lawmaker Arnold Goodstein, 81, their son, and other guests were trapped inside and escaped by jumping from an upper floor into nearby marshes. 3 people were hospitalized, including Arnold, who was airlifted with serious injuries. Chief Justice John Kittredge described the incident as, quote, an apparent explosion, end quote, that led to a devastating blaze. Authorities are investigating whether the fire was accidental or arson. The fire follows threats made to Judge Goodstein after she ruled to block the release of 3.3 million South Carolina voters' personal data to federal officials. The Justice Department had sought the information to identify alleged undocumented voters. Her ruling was later overturned by the state Supreme Court. Judge Goodstein, first elected in 1998, has long been known for her independence. Law enforcement has increased patrols near her home as investigators determine the fire's cause. The incident is an ominous warning of what is happening to political and legal discourse in America. Well, first of all, I'm so glad that she did her part to block that.
Right.
The 3.3 million voters.
That's
so
ridiculous.
You can root out this. We've talked about on other shows about LGBTQ people being sort of targeted and demonized, and they're the monster under the bed. Well,
Right.
also so are immigrants now.
Right.
And this idea that undocumented people are somehow a big threat, usually they're the ones paying super attention to the law so they don't get caught. Right. And who cares? They're working, they're paying taxes, they're buying things in the markets. Like, this idea that there's some kind of danger is ridiculous. We've got to find an easier way for them to get citizenship and green cards and whatnot, not punish them for existing. But this is a hate-filled administration right now, and there are various groups. Trans are on the list, queer people in general, and then trans people specifically, and then immigrants specifically. And now there's racial profiling. You know, I didn't understand your accent. I think you may not be from here or whatever. This is on the rise. And so that she did a responsible thing trying to protect people so that people have due process, so that people, I hate that it was overturned. I'm not surprised, but she was doing what she could for the safety of people in this country, and for the rule of law. And so I appreciate that. And I have no doubt, I could be wrong, I hope I'm wrong, but I have no doubt that some fool did this because they wanted to punish her for not being on the side of hate.
And, you know, I think that again, this is becoming systemic. And, you know, Charlie Kirk was executed. I mean, that he shouldn't have been shot. I disagree with him. I mean, the Democratic lawmakers in, I can't remember where she and her family were. She, her husband, and the dog were murdered in her own house. The husband of Nancy Pelosi being beaten, this elderly
And he was already
man.
elderly.
And, you know, I think that it's fair game. And with this administration constantly making it the fault of the other side, it's ridiculous. And I am afraid it's going to continue, and it's going to get worse. And there are going to be more houses burned down. There are going to be more people assassinated. There's going to be a lot more.
And they castigate empathy. They castigate empathy. And yet, if we even pause to say, oh, that's a shame or whatever, then we're in trouble for that. But wait, Charlie Kirk said empathy was a stupid thing, a bad thing. He said that, human lives is just cost of doing business so that everyone can have their Second Amendment right or whatever.
What he wanted.
And so I actually do hate that happened to him, but I also hate that if I pause in that, or if I say And also, he participated in the attitude and philosophy that led to what happened.
Right.
That now suddenly I'm a hate monger, and like they've so rigged the game to where you're weak for having empathy, and now you're a monster for not having it quickly enough for their guy.
Right.
And I hate that controls the narrative right now, but it does, which is why these kinds of conversations are so important.
And no flags were flown at half-mast when a Democratic elected official was murdered.
Right.
No flags flew at half-staff, but this guy who's not even an elected official, he's just
An
some
ambassador, military hero. Yeah, he was just some.
He did not deserve to
getting a statue.
have that on.
At a university in Utah, a statue.
Well, if the university wants to do that, that's fine.
Right.
But for the government to order flags lowered at half-staff for that hateful person and requiring even LGBT flags to be lowered half-staff for him, that is...
Those that are still flying at all.
Yeah.
I'm just shocked that the human race, we haven't learned our lesson at this
I agree.
time.
I agree with that.
This is history repeating itself.
Right.
Yeah.
Again.
Since time beginning,
Right.
greed, power, hate, it just begets the same. And I don't understand how we haven't learned our lesson.
And it's always the same playbook. You come for the intellectuals, you come for the artists, you come for free speech, you intimidate your opponents, it's the same. Like back when you take history out of history classes so that we can't know that it's happening again.
But I also think as well is that we're not learning the democratic way or democracy way of having a conversation in the table, and we can disagree and agree. We don't have to be all disagree, but I go to Cindy's house and I'm going to go burn down her house and kids. That just doesn't really make sense. That means that the lid is not sealed, and it's not sealed correctly, and a lot of people are going and doing physical harm, which is kind of scary because we do have, we're gonna have people always gonna disagree and not agree at the end of the day. But you come to my personal life, and then now I'm threatened, then that's a different situation, and that's a level.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's a big LGBTQ story for today. There's no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.